Savanna Echols. Every 2 hours, 3 people are killed in an alcohol-related highway accident, said Matthew Chambers, an author for Research and Innovative Technology Administration on Drunk Driving by the Numbers in April of 2012. Everyone in this room knows someone who has been affected by drinking and driving. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety should mandate a zero-tolerance law while operating a motor vehicle for all age ranges. First, I will talk about the problems with drinking and driving, and then I will propose a solution of a zero-tolerance law. First, let's begin with the problems we face in Minnesota today with drinking and driving. Drinking and driving causes several problems to communities all over the state of Minnesota. In just 3 years alone, fatality percentages have increased. In 2015, 23% of all road fatalities were because of drinking and driving, said the Minnesota Department of Public Safety on reports and statistics in 2016. DWI arrests have declined by 40% in the last 10 years. According to Little Change in Alcohol Involvement and Traffic Fatalities and Injuries, written by Bruce Gordon, the Director of Communications on September 1st, 2016 states, in 2006, there was 47,000 DWI arrests, and now in 2015, there was only 25,000, but that's still a lot. Adults think that they know how to handle their alcohol, when in reality, no one is 100% sure what's going to happen. Richard Stem, an attorney and author at NOLO on Are You Too Drunk to Legally Drive, states in 2016 that a woman who is 140 pounds only needs 3.5 drinks to be above the legal limit, while a person who is 180 pounds only needs 4.5. Now that's 1 drink more for a person who is 40 pounds heavier. But everyone takes in and metabolizes alcohol at a different rate. There's not a definite equation, but the effects of alcohol are based on 4 things: weight, metabolism, food intake, and beverage consumed, says the Colonial Health Center on alcohol absorption in 2015. Since you're allowed to drink at 21, you would expect people to know how to handle their alcohol at 40 and 50, but 1 drink can change a life forever. The ignition interlock device, or the IID, are now being used for DUI drivers. The ignition interlock device is an individual or breathalyzer put into an individual's car. It requires you to blow into the mouthpiece in order to start your car, said the Van S. Hagnen Breslin in the Minnesota Ignition Interlock Program evaluation in 2014. One problem with the interlock is that it can be compromised or cheated. All you need to do is blow into the mouthpiece, so that means anyone can blow into it, including family members, friends, or even your children. You're only required to have it for a year, so once it's removed, most DUI drivers do drive again, drunk. Richard Stem provided in 2016 on penalties and fines that for first-time DUI drivers that you get up to 90 days in jail, a $1,000 fine, you get your license taken away for 90 days, and you are required to get an IID put in your car. My stepfather, Didi, was arrested for a DUI in 2014. He didn't receive any jail time. He got his license taken away for only 2 weeks. He only got a $200 fine, and he did not get an IID put into his car. If that was enforced, Didi would not be drinking and driving like he is today. Research shows that 1 in 3 first offenders are more than likely to do it again. Every 1 in 4 cars on the highway after 11 p.m. have a impaired or drunk driver. In June of 2016, Brittany Starks, a 2016 graduate from Lewiston, Altura, was driving home from work on Highway 14 at 9:30 p.m. when she was hit by a drunk driver. The driver, Lois S. Cho, a 40-year-old woman, was too drunk to drive when she crossed over the center line. Brittany was sent to the hospital with several injuries and was in there for several weeks. In September of 2014, Gerald Moss, a 57-year-old man, was double the legal limit when he crashed his car into a 29-year-old woman, her 9-year-old nephew, and her 7-year-old son. Gerald had 21 drinks in 7 hours and crashed the car, killing the 9-year-old boy, paralyzing the 7-year-old son, and seriously injuring the woman. Before this crash, Gerald was arrested for 7 DUIs. In October of 2016, Judge Joseph Chase granted the family $15 million in compensation, half coming from Gerald and half coming from the 3 bars that served Gerald the alcohol, knowing that he was already intoxicated. Now that I've told you the problems with drinking and driving, I will propose a solution of a zero-tolerance law. With a zero-tolerance law, the people the 5.4 million residents in Minnesota would have better roads to drive on. They would not have to worry about having impaired drivers because if they are doing what they're supposed to be doing and being cautious, then the person next to them who is not drinking and driving would also be cautious as well. More jobs would open up for people because there would be more need for sober cabs. Ubers would become more important and more needed, and also with taxi cab drivers. Adults would not have to worry about how much alcohol they have drank or misjudgment on if they can drive home because they would not be getting behind the wheel anyways. In conclusion, fatalities are very high due to drinking and driving. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety should mandate a zero-tolerance law while operating motor vehicles for all age ranges. If you look around the room at all of your classmates, it will only take 12 hours for all of us to be dead by drinking and driving.